Just confirm me, am I audible to you? Am I audible? Just make sure that everything is perfect from my side. Okay, fine. Okay, without any delay, we'll start our today's class. Yes, from until yesterday we have completed some of the topics from physiology, I think up to excretion. In today's class, we are going to deal with the osmoregulation. Okay, so before that, I'm going to explain the concept first, and after that, we'll solve the questions as usual. So, what is osmoregulation? It is somewhat regulating something, water balance. Okay, osmosis means generally it is related to water. A process by which an organisms regulate the balance of water and solutes within their bodies to maintain the homeostasis. We know that what is meant by homeostasis, right? See, if the organism finds a low level of water within their body, it has to take from the external environment. Okay, and if it is find a higher level of water within their body, it has to expel those water outside to the external environment. Okay, this is what a process of osmosis. Okay, now what are all the mechanisms regarding the osmoregulation? So we have two types of osmoregulation. One is osmoconformers and osmoregulators. See, osmoconformers are the organisms which match their body osmolarity to their environment, okay, to their environment where they are living, and changing their body fluid and composition according to their external environment. Okay, and some of the examples for osmoconformers will be the invertebrates, particularly the jellyfish, right? And what is osmoregulators? See, these are all the organisms which maintains their internal osmolarity despite the changes in the external environment. See, whatever the climate, whatever the external environment is, these organisms will maintain their own body temperature. That is what an osmoregulators, okay? And these organisms are terrestrial animals and freshwater fish, right? This is what a difference between osmoconformers and osmoregulators. Now, what are all the organs are involved in the regulation of the osmoregulation? Okay, so the first organ will be the kidney. Okay, see, it is the one filtering the blood. We know that in yesterday's class we have seen about the excretory system. It is the one filtering the blood, and from the blood all the waste has been excreted in the means of urine, and which removes the excess salts and water. And we know that what are all the organisms which uses this kidney as an excretory organ will be mammals, birds, and the reptiles. Now, gills. Gills are somewhat dealing with exchanging ions with surrounding water to maintain the internal balance. We know that which organism use gills? Amphibians and the fish. Okay, now salt glands. See, these are all the glands which excrete. There is a salt concentration is higher in that particular organism that has to be excreted out in the means of salt glands. And those organisms use the salt glands as the means of excretion will be marine birds and the reptiles, right? Now, skin. Skin will be the osmoregulatory organ once again. And see, in some amphibians which use a skin for the osmoregulation by absorbing or excreting the water. Okay, and the amphibians like frog, they are using skin for the osmoregulation process. Now, the most important slide is this. What are all the hormones are involving in regulation of osmosis? Right, and the first hormone will be the antidiuretic hormone. We know that it is also called as the vasopressin. Now, this is the hormone involving in the water reabsorption in the kidneys. See, if the water has been reabsorbed in the urine, then the urine will be more concentrated. Right, that is what ensured by this antidiuretic hormone. And which of the organisms will be using this hormone to concentrate the urine will be mammals and the birds. Now, the second hormone will be the aldosterone. And what is the function of aldosterone? We know that it is the one regulating the sodium concentration in kidneys. See, it is the one increases the reabsorption. So, if the sodium has been expelled out from the kidney, it has been checked by the aldosterone. Okay, and this aldosterone is the one increase of the reabsorption of sodium as well as the water in kidneys. We know that mammals. And ANP will be the atrial natriuretic peptide. We know that this ANP will performing the function just the opposite to this aldosterone and ADH. This reduces the reabsorption of sodium in kidneys and lowering the blood pressure and blood volume. Okay, we know that as usual in mammals. So these are all the hormones are important thing involving in the regulation of osmosis. Now, what are all the mechanisms followed in the cell to the osmoregulation process? See, the first one will be the aquaporins. Aquaporins is the one, it is the pores which it is like a water channel. Okay, it is channeling all the waters, and if it through this pores, the water can be get entry and exit of these pores. See, in a water channel that facilitate the water movement across the cell membranes. In these membranes, we have a lot and lots of aquaporins within it. Now, humans also having a lot of aquaporins. And ion pumps. Ion pumps, we know that it actively pumps the ions across the membrane to maintain the osmotic balance. And these pumps will be majorly present in the plants. Okay, this is what a cellular mechanism. Now, what are all the behavioral adaptations adopted by many organisms for this process of osmoregulation? Drinking water. If it find that our water has been the concentration of water will be very low in that particular organism, it has to be taken from the external environment. Now, actively consuming water to replace the losses. Now, the terrestrial animals like mammals. Okay, we know that if we find thirsty, we'll drink water. Now, salt licking. See, some of the organisms will consuming salt to balance the osmolarity. Okay, see, herbivorous in salt deficient area. See, in salt deficient area, so it will be also gives a thirst, that is salt thirst. So these organisms consume salt to balance the osmosis. Now, migration, moving to areas with favorable osmotic conditions. So see, how the process of osmoregulation is plays a crucial role. See, it may leads an organisms to shift their areas, okay, for this process of osmoregulation. See, salmon fish. We know that salmon fish migrate from the fresh water to the salt water, okay, to balance. No. See, in our syllabus, we are having the osmoregulation in fishes. So, it is very important to read about the fishes regarding the process of osmoregulation. So, see, we have categorized the fishes into freshwater fish as well as the marine water fish. So, we will see first the freshwater fish, and first thing will be the osmotic environment. See here, the freshwater will be hypotonic. Hypotonic means what? Reduced concentration relative to the fish internal fluids. See, the fish internal fluids will be in the hypotonic concentration, causing the water to enter the fish's body. See, if the fish will be found, something has been reduced in that particular body, it seeks to take from the external environment. So obviously, the fish body will be hypotonic in solution. It is deficient in some fluid, and it has to take from the hypertonic solution. So the external environment will be here is the hypertonic, and the internal body of the fish will be the hypotonic. So always the process of osmosis, the movement of fluids or water will be moved from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Right now, water movement. Here, the water will be enter the fish's body to the osmosis process. Okay, osmosis is nothing but movement of fluids or water from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. This is what a process of osmosis. So, regulating this process of osmosis is called as the osmoregulation, right? So, what are all the challenges faced by this freshwater fish in balancing these things? Okay, to get the necessary fluids from the external environment. What are all the challenges? See, they need to excrete excess water and conserve salts. Okay, they have to conserve salts and they need to excrete the excess water. Okay, now what is the function of kidney in case of the freshwater fish? They produce a large amount of dilute urine. Dilute urine means what? Here the water is not reabsorbed that much. Okay, so the urine contains lots and lots of water, so they produce large amount of dilute urine to excrete the excess water, because already the fish body, in the body of the fish, they find a lot of water, so all this excess water has to be expelled out. Okay, so that it conserve more salts. This is the function performed by the kidney in the body of the fish. Now, what is the function performed by the gills? Here, the gills actively take up the salts from the water. So, already the fish will be living in the water. So, obviously, the fish's body will have a lot and lots of water. So, it has to expel out the excess water. In the meantime, it has to take up more salts from the water. So, this is the thing which happening simultaneously. Now, salt regulation mechanism. So it has to take the salt and it has to expel the excess water. Now, how the salt has been regulated? See, there will be a specialized cell which is present in the gills, which is called as the chloride cells, which is the one involving in pumping the salt from the water, and the salt has been getting into the blood and enter into the circulation, right? This is what a mechanism in regulating salts. Now, what is a hormone? See, this is a crucial point. What is a hormone involving in regulating this process of osmoregulation? In case of freshwater fishes will be the prolactin hormone. This is the one enhances the salt uptake in the gills. And what is the specialized cell present in the gills? That will be the chloride cells. Right? Now, what in case of marine fishes? What is their osmotic environment? Here, the seawater is hypertonic. Okay, the marine water is rich in salt, right? And the seawater will be hypertonic. See, relative to the fish's internal environment, and this causes the water to leave the fish's body. Already, it will be rich in salts. See, in freshwater fishes, the water contain less salts. Right, the water, see, just remember my statement correctly. In the freshwater fishes, in the water that is outside the body of the fishes, the salt concentration will be reduced. Okay, so in the body of the fish, the water concentration will be higher. Okay, the water concentration will be higher in the body of the fish, and it needs to take the salt from the external environment. So it has to expel out the excess water and it has to conserve more salt. Here, the water will be hypotonic in solution. Why? Because in fresh water, we find less salts. Okay, just opposite to the marine water fishes. See, here the sea water is hypertonic, where we can find more salts. Okay, so now the fish internal body fluids causes the water to leave the fish's body. Here, the water movement, here the water leaves the fish body through the process of osmosis. We know that from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. Now, what are the challenges they are facing? Means, see, they need to conserve water, because already in marine water we know there will be a lot and lots of salt. So obviously the fish's body, inside the body of the fish, they are also having a lot of salts. So the excess salt has to be eliminated from the body of the fish, particularly in the marine water. So they have to conserve more water and they have to eliminate the excess salt. So this is the challenge faced by the marine fish. And what is the challenge faced by the freshwater fish? Here, they need to conserve salts in case of fresh water, and they need to eliminate excess water, just opposite to the marine fishes, right? So this is an important point. You have to make a note of it. Now, what is the function performed with the kidney? See, in freshwater fishes, they produce a lot of diluted urine, but here they are producing a small amount of concentrated urine. Why? Because they have to conserve water. Here the water reabsorption is taking vigorously. Okay, but in case of freshwater fishes, here they are producing a dilute urine, so they have to excrete this excess water. But here these fishes has to conserve the water and they have to excrete the excess salt. And the excretion of excess salt will be done by the gills. Okay, so this is what a function performed by the gills in the marine fishes. Now, how the salt is getting regulated? Now, what is present here? Same thing, specialized cell which is present in the gills, named the chloride cells. It is the one pumping the salt from the blood into the sea water. See what we have seen here. It is the one pumping the salt from the water into the blood. Okay, because it is in need of salt, right? Now see, this water has to be excreted out, and from this water, all the salt has to be reabsorbed, and the reabsorbed salt has been entered into the blood. But here it is already, the blood is already rich in salt. So all the excess salt has to be reabsorbed from the blood, and these salts have to be eliminated into the seawater. Okay, this is what a mechanism is. And what will be their drinking behavior? Here, they drink seawater actively to replace a lost water. We know that has to be done, right? Now what is a hormone is regulating in the marine fishes? Here, it will be a cortisol hormone. It is the one enhancing the salt excretion in this. So these are all the things, an important thing regarding the osmoregulation in the fishes, right? Now, we have different types of fishes. So first thing, you know that what is euryhaline fishes. Euryhaline fishes means, haline means salt tolerating fishes. Okay, they can tolerate a wide range of salinity. That is euryhaline. Then what in case of stenohaline? Another word called it is stenohaline. Which means what? Again, this haline means salinity, and steno means it can tolerate only a narrow range of salinity. Okay, but euryhaline fishes can tolerate whatever be the salinity is, can tolerate a wide range of salinity. Now, how these particular fishes are getting adopted to this osmoregulation mechanisms? That is depending on the salinity of the environment that they are present in. Okay, see, in case, for example, the salmon fish, again, same thing, which migrate from the fresh water to the sea water. If it is in need of pure water and rather than salt, it has been moved again to the fresh water. Okay, this is how they are adapting based on the area they are living in. Okay, that's all about the osmoregulation process. Okay, now coming back to the questions. Which of the following best describes the osmoregulation process? The process by which the organism convert food into energy, the process by which organisms regulate their internal temperature, and the process by which organisms maintain the balance of water and solutes in their bodies, the process by which organisms excrete the metabolic waste. Very good. That will be the maintenance of water and solute. This is what an exact function of osmoregulation, to maintain, to check the homeostasis. They has to maintain their internal temperature. Now, which hormone promotes water reabsorption in kidneys of mammals? Water reabsorption in the kidneys in the mammals. That will be obviously antidiuretic hormone or the vasopressin. Okay, now what is the main osmoregulatory challenge faced by the freshwater fish? What are all the challenge faced by a freshwater fish? They has to, what they are in need water, or they are in need of salt. So this is a major thing you have to observe very keen. Okay. I can find different answers. See, in case of freshwater fish, they have to conserve water and they have to eliminate excess water. In case of marine water fish, they have to conserve the water and they have to eliminate the excess salt. Okay. So in case of a challenge faced by the freshwater will be the B. That will be excess water intake. Okay, that is what they have to conserve that. Okay, how they see, they already, the fish is surviving in water, so definitely the water will be very higher in concentration in case of freshwater fish, so they have to take the salt. So that is what a challenge faced by the freshwater fish. Okay, good. See, the freshwater fish live in a hypotonic environment, causing the water to continuously enter into the body. So, fish will find a difficulty in excreting the expelled water. Okay, because they need to conserve a salt. Okay, so these are all the terminologies you should not get confused with. Okay, now, how do the marine fishes typically osmoregulate? By producing large amount of dilute urine, by drinking the sea water and excreting excess salts, by not drinking water at all, by absorbing salts through their skin. Whether they are producing the concentrated urine or they are producing a dilute urine regarding the marine fishes. Again, I'm finding a different answers. If you find any difficulties in understanding the concept, just ask me again. Okay, I don't hesitate to explain again and again. Okay, but I want the correct answer. See, in case of marine water fish, they drink the sea water, only then it can replace. See, it has to drink water and it has to eliminate something. If it want to eliminate something, definitely it has to be replaced by water. Okay, so obviously it drink more sea water and actively excrete the excess salt. Got it? Through their gills, and we know that what is the specialized cell present in the gills also, and which organ is primarily responsible for osmoregulation in mammals. uh, no point of having a confusion here. That will be obviously the kidney. Okay, it is responsible for filtering blood, excreting waste, and maintaining water salt balance. Right now, and what role do aquaporins plays in osmoregulation? They pump ions across the cell membrane, they facilitate the water movement across the cell membrane, and they secrete hormones, they produce urine. See, pumping ions across the cell membrane is somewhat related to the ion pumps, and secreting the hormones is somewhat related to glands, and producing urine will be related to a kidney, and the aquaporins will be facilitate the movement of water across the cell membrane. Right now, in which type of environment do osmoconformers typically live? Here, they are not asking the osmoregulators. The question will be an osmoconformers. What is that? What is mean by osmoconformers and osmoregulators? I hope you all remember what I have said. That will be marine environment, where they matches their body osmolarity to surrounding seawater. See, in case of osmoregulators, they themselves haven't they have their own internal body temperature, so they don't need of anything to something regulating externally. They don't want to do that. But osmoconformers, they have to match with their external environment, so they have to move to the different environment. Now, what is the function of chloride cells in the fish gills? They produce mucus, they pump oxygen into the blood, they regulate salt balance, and they produce digestive enzymes. That will be a regulator salt balance. Now, which hormone enhances the salt uptake in the gills of freshwater fish? Salt uptake in freshwater fish. Y, A, B, C. Again, I'm finding the different answers. Prolactin is a hormone. It is involved in freshwater fish or marine water fish. Cortisol. What is that? YB. Prolactin is the one involving in the freshwater fish. See, in case of a marine water, that will be cortisol. Okay, don't get confused with that. Okay, yeah, cortisol will be the marine and prolactin will be the freshwater hormone. Right, clear? Now, how do terrestrial animals typically prevent dehydration? How they are preventing the dehydration? By producing a large amount of dilute urine, by drinking large amount of water and conserving salts, by using salt glands to excrete the salts, by living in water. How they are balancing their dehydration? Dehydration means what? They have to prevent the loss of water. Very good. By drinking a lot of water. Now, which organ in marine birds help them to excrete excess salt in case of marine birds? That will be the salt gland. Okay, this they are the one excreting the excess salt solution, helping them to osmoregulate. Now, what is a key adaptation of euryhaline fishes? Euryhaline fishes means what? If you know the meaning, you can answer this question. The word "you" means true. See, in case of they can, if they can tolerate a narrow range of salinities, these fishes can be called as the stenohaline fishes, right? And if it can tolerate a wide range of salinities, definitely that will be calling as the euryhaline fishes. Very good, very good. Now, how do amphibians typically osmoregulate? By drinking large amount of water, by using their skin to absorb and excrete water, by living only in the marine environment, by not excreting any urine. Amphibians are typically osmoregulate through their skin. Okay. What is the primary osmoregulatory challenge for marine mammals? That will be excess salt intake. Which hormone decreases the reabsorption of sodium in kidney? Which is decreasing reabsorption of sodium in the kidney? That will be atrial natriuretic peptide. Okay. Which of the following describes an osmoregulatory mechanism in plants? That will be stomatal regulation. We know that some desert plants, they open their stomata during the night time. Okay, I hope you all know very well aware with the C4 plants and CAM pathway, okay, and all these things, right? C2 cycle. Okay, that CAM pathway is very good mechanism in case of plants, okay, to prevent the loss of water. Okay, now how do desert animals typically conserve water? How do desert animals typically conserve water? By producing large amount of dilute urine, by having a highly efficient kidneys, by living in water, by excreting excess salt through gills. By having highly efficient kidneys. Okay, there has to be a good kidney, only then it can produce a concentrated urine. Okay, if the body have more and more water, only then it produce a dilute urine. Okay. Now, what is the role of aldosterone in osmoregulation? Aldosterone will be the, it increases the reabsorption of sodium and water in the kidneys to maintain the blood volume and the pressure. Okay. Okay. Now, which type of fish would you expect to have highly concentrated urine? Whether it will be the freshwater fish or whether it will be the euryhaline fish. Just think and answer. See, again, read the concept, okay? Read the concept. I don't want these mismatch answers. Everybody should, I need each and everyone should get the concept correctly, okay? Have highly concentrated urine will be this. Marine fish produce most highly concentrated urine to conserve water and excrete excess salts, okay? So by answering these different questions, only then you can get the concept correctly. Okay, so that is why I keep on circulating with the same concept. How do salt glands help marine reptiles osmoregulate? That will be, see, marine reptiles have a salt glands and they excrete the salt solutions, helping them to remove the excess salt from their bodies, right? Which is structure in plant root help regulate water uptake. Plant roots, that will be aquaporins. Very good. Plant have a more aquaporins in their root. That will be helping in regulating the water and uptake of water and thereby regulating the osmotic balance. Now, what is a common osmoregulatory strategy for halophytes? Halo means what? Again, the salt. Okay, salt tolerant plants. It can withstand a wide range of salt. Okay, just same meaning regarding the euryhaline. How they can tolerate this excess salt? How they are eliminating the excess salt? Very good. They has to say if we want to withstand a wide range of salt, that the excess salt has to be eliminated in means of something else. Okay, they are eliminating the excess salt through their leaves. Okay. Now, how do freshwater fish compensate for the loss of salts? How they are getting a salt? See, they have to expel the excrete water and they have to conserve a salt. How they are doing that? By producing a concentrated urine, by actively absorbing salts through their gills, by drinking large amount of water, by excreting excess salts. Everybody? Very good. Freshwater fish actively absorb the salt through the gills to compensate for the loss of salts in the hypotonic environment. Okay. So what is the primary role of nephrons in the kidney? They are the one filtering the blood from the urine, and it is the one plays a crucial role in maintaining the osmoregulation and also excreting the waste. Which fish would likely have a chloride cells that excrete salts? We have a 4 more minutes. That is both the fish. What is that? Marine water fish. See, what is that? Marine water fish having the chloride cells in the gills. This is the one excrete the salts to maintain the osmotic balance. Just see, the chloride cells will be present in both the cells. So what is the function regarding their fresh water and marine water? Kindly make a note of that. And what is the main function of antidiuretic hormone in osmoregulation? Antidiuretic hormone is to check which process. This is the one involving promoting the water reabsorption in the kidney. And if it reabsorbs the water, and definitely the urine will be low. And how do osmoregulators differ from osmoconformers? So what is the difference between these two terminologies? Osmoregulators match their body osmolarity to the environment. Osmoregulators maintain the constant internal osmolarity regardless of the temperature when environment. Osmoconformers actively pump salts into their bodies. Osmoconformers live only in fresh water. So we know that osmoregulators can have the capacity to regulate their own internal body environment, okay, regardless whatever be the external environment is. Now, which of the following is a behavioral adaptation for osmoregulation in terrestrial animals? Drinking seawater, living in fresh water, drinking water to replace losses, using gills for gas exchange. 2 more minutes. That will be drink water to replace losses and maintain the osmotic balance as a behavioral adaptation for the osmoregulation. What is the function of A and P in osmoregulation? That will be a sodium retention or what? Quick. That will be decreasing the sodium reabsorption. How do kidneys contribute to osmoregulation? Okay, this will be our last question. By filtering the blood and forming the urine. So that's all about today's class. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me now. And for tomorrow, your test will be from digestive system. Okay, digestive system. You have to read and come the digestion, absorption, assimilation, digestion. Entire digestive system will be your test tomorrow. Okay. Any doubts? Or shall we wind up the class? Okay. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can stay or else just leave the class.